This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, crews remain on the scene of a messy train derailment in Orneville.
It was early in the morning of October 19th when the train encountered a washout along the tracks on Route 16. Now, that caused several cars and 3 engines to jump the tracks, leaving a tangled mess. Crews have been on the scene ever since, trying to clear the debris. An environmental company out of New Jersey was also on the scene today, taking care of any hazardous materials. The Canadian Pacific Railway Company says a small amount of diesel spilled. Some of the cars were also carrying tar and carbon dioxide that will have to be removed. Crews have also cut down numerous trees and created an access road in order to bring in heavy equipment that is needed to remove the damaged cars and repair the track.
Let's get into that time of the year where we batten down the hatches for the cold of winter. And this year, like all others, the cost to heat your home is a topic of discussion. Many Mainers simply don't have the money. One way to get a relief is to apply to a wood bank. It's like a food bank where donations are taken in and distributed to those in need. This year, there's new federal funding to create more wood banks across Maine and the country.
The federal heating assistance, which goes through the states, does a pretty good job with electricity and gas and oil, even though they're underfunded. But they're not really set up to deal with firewood. So these banks will help emergency situations for thousands of homes across the country.
And for more information, you can visit firewoodbanks.org.
Well, Maine Treasurer Henry Beck is looking for help from the public to find the owners of some war-era bonds. The bonds were issued between May of 1941 and June of 1980 as defense bonds with maturities of 30 to 40 years. The Office of the Treasurer is currently holding them as part of its unclaimed property safekeeping program. The bonds came to the office from abandoned safe deposit boxes at financial institutions. Maine State Treasurer Henry Beck says with Election Day and Veterans Day approaching, they would like to find the rightful owners.
There certainly was a time when the country was very much in danger and everyone pulled together, and people, whether they had a lot of money or not, everybody made a sacrifice to support the effort with their dollars. It was an investment, of course, but I think there's some lessons learned for today. And I think that would be great if we can find the owners for today. They can get that investment back.
Well, the owners or their heirs can contact the Office of the Maine State Treasurer. The information is on their website.
Maine is cleaning up its roadways by revoking license plates that have been deemed inappropriate. The state is enforcing new rules to eliminate vulgar vanity license plates that proliferated after the state effectively eliminated its review process. That approach brought scores of complaints. Then lawmakers reinstated a review process. Secretary of State Shannon Bellows says she supports freedom of expression, but said profane language shouldn't be on state-issued license plates.
I encourage Mainers to use common sense. If you were swearing or wanting to swear on a license plate, that's not going to be allowed. If you really want to offend your neighbors, get a bumper sticker.
The state began sending letters this month recalling offensive license plates.
Well, it looks like Maine's signature area code 207 will be staying around for a bit longer. The Maine Public Utilities Commission says that they have found some ways to preserve the single area code for Maine until at least the first quarter of 2027. Originally, they thought they would run out of numbers by the end of 2025. To date, they have been able to return almost 700,000 numbers to the numbering pool from unused or slightly used blocks.
Fishing regulators and the seafood industry are coming to grips with the possibility that some species, which have seen populations decline due to climate change, might not rebound in numbers. It's rare for regulators to completely shut down a fishery, but they're considering doing just that in at least one instance, and warming waters are to blame. In New England, the regulatory Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission is now considering making a moratorium on shrimp fishing permanent, essentially ending the centuries-old harvest of shrimp in the region. It's a serious warning for several other species caught by U.S. fishermen that regulators say are on the brink. Others include soft-shell clams, Alaskan crab, and winter flounder.
Well, a nursing home on Deer Isle that closed in 2021 could be reopening, but not in the same capacity. The Island Nursing Home is working on a plan to become a residential home with 32 beds. Residential care facilities offer meals and medication, but they do not have professional nurses. Island Nursing Home spokesperson Dan Cashman says there is not enough staffing for a skilled care nursing home.
Getting it open right now in some capacity is really the key. There's going to be no shortage of need going down the road for nursing homes. So the key is trying to figure out the best way to make this work given the current staffing challenges.
Cashman says there is a possibility the nursing home could expand the number of beds in the future. Those working on the reopening plan want to have it done by December 1st. The plan must be submitted to the state by January 14th.
Senators Susan Collins and Angus King announced more than $3 million to support fire departments and organizations across the state. Matthew Jurancic spoke to a local fire chief who talked about what this grant means for his department.
I'm at Orono Fire Department, where the department recently received over $700,000 to upgrade its current equipment and hire 3 new firefighters.
So we're extremely happy to have received that money. It's something we couldn't have been able to do without being awarded the federal grants.
Funding for these awards came from the assistance firefighters and staffing for adequate fire emergency response grants. The money will be going towards the purchase of a turnout gear washer, which Lowe says will get rid of cancer-causing agents in their equipment. The money will be also used to recruit more firefighters.
And what we run into when we have somebody who calls out sick or takes vacation is we end up bringing people back for overtime to the point where we have to force people to come back to work if there's nobody willing to take it on.
Orono was not the only local fire department to receive this award, as Bangor and Eddington fire departments were also selected to receive grant money. In a statement from Senator King and Collins, they said, quote, "Firefighters put their lives on the line every day to protect Maine residents, homes, and businesses. This funding will allow Maine firefighters to acquire updated equipment so they have the best tools available to protect themselves as they serve our families and communities," end quote.
Both projects are high value and high dollar projects, and they're really going to bring a lot of positive to the community and to the department.
Matthew Jurancic, ABC7 and Fox 22.
All right, so some very good and welcome news for some local fire departments around our area.
You know, we hear all the time that manpower is at a premium. They have trouble getting folks to sign up, or maybe certain times of the day.
Yeah.
They have a harder time getting folks to respond. So great to see that they'll be able to boost their ranks,
Yeah.
and then also make some necessary changes to the equipment.
Right, and
very welcome news.
Just some less strain on the current firefighters there too, just working those extra hours.
Absolutely.
Well,
Alrighty, well, we have had a lovely day.
Yeah, we really have.
It was just.
I mean, you really can't
was
say
picture
anything
perfect.
else.
Yeah.
You can't complain about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, days like this just keep coming.
Yeah, well, and with a little bit more on that, we'll take a first look at our forecast and find out.
Hey, Beth and Peter, happy Thursday. Your first weather is brought to you by Saliba's Rug Cleaners, Maine's largest for over 70 years. All right, so temperatures back in the mid, even upper 60s across our area today. Again, not normal, but colder temperatures are not too far away. In fact, they're right there. That's our air for tomorrow. A cooler day tomorrow. High temperatures back in the 50s before rebounding over the weekend. Lots of clear skies out there today. A very nice night tonight. It won't be as cold as it was last night. And then we're dry until the weekend, most likely until late Sunday to Monday, where our next rain showers get in here on Monday. Our forecast then tonight, though, is mostly clear skies and a bit cool with low temperatures in the 30s. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth and Peter.
So at the very least, we have a nice, calm, cool overnight coming our way, which will be quite nice.
Will be.
All righty. Well, coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, an Old Town police detective shares her recent training to help parents keep their kids safe in the car.
And a Maine artist uses her work to raise money for a local library. We'll have those stories and much more as ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
A Day in the War on the Middle Class by Jared Golden and the Democrats. That day, Jared Golden voted to raise taxes on low and middle income Americans, double the size of the IRS, drive up home heating and gas prices, and empower new regulators who will hurt Maine's lobster industry.
but it's not too late to do something about it.
Yeah, we can stop their war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The Biden agenda in Washington is hitting Mainers with historic inflation, and Janet Mills is making things worse. Under Biden and Mills, Mainers will pay 72% more on home heating oil. And with family budgets already stretched to the breaking point, Mills has stretched them even further, imposing a grocery tax that increases monthly bills by $60. Maine families simply can't afford Janet Mills. The top funder of Maine Families First is Thomas Klingenstein.
I'll always be an independent fighter for you.
Maybe he used to be. But when it mattered, Jared Golden helped Joe Biden hike taxes by billions on people making as little as $20,000 a year, and nearly doubled the IRS, targeting middle-class families for more, all while giving new tax breaks to the elite. Jared Golden. He's not our independent fighter anymore. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I would love to retire. The truth is, because of Joe Biden and Jared Golden's policies, there is no way that I can retire. What Jared Golden does and what Jared Golden says are 180 degrees apart. When Jared Golden goes to D.C., he votes the party line. Gas prices, our groceries. Jared Golden's votes are definitely making inflation worse. We need to make a change. We need Bruce Poliquin.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Believe it or not, you may think you are, but you might not be securing your child in a car seat in the exact right way. But luckily, a local police officer can help. Old Town Police Detective Alicia Canwell was recently certified to put child safety seats in cars. Canwell can now demonstrate to families the proper way to secure children into any car seat. The inspiration came from her 15-month-old child and her wanting to see if she was actually fastening her child in properly. Canwell says knowing how to properly secure your child is one of the most important things families can and need to learn.
Car seat safety is super, super important. It lowers the risk of death by 71% in infants, and it lowers the death of toddlers by 54% when they're properly secure. So it's significant. It's very significant in car crashes, and it's very important just because the safety of our children are, you can't put a price on the safety of your kids.
Anyone interested in learning about child safety can request a car technician through the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's website, where they will show a demonstration on how to secure your child.
Well-known artist Judy Taylor is gifting a piece of artwork to the Southwest Harbor Public Library. Taylor is releasing a limited edition of her painting Echo Lake Beach in prints. All the proceeds from the sales will be donated to the library. You can stop by Southwest Harbor Public Library to see the original on display and to purchase a print yourself for $250. For more info, you can email the library or call them at 207-244-7065. Another very vibrant piece of art on display there.
We've definitely been on an art tangent lately, and I'm totally cool with it because I love seeing the work of local artists. It's just extraordinary.
Yeah, really cool stuff.
Alrighty.
Well, still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, a Boston-based photographer captures compelling images featuring Maine's lobster fishing families.
And in sports, Maine hockey is coming off one of their biggest wins in the past 2 seasons, but it doesn't get any easier for the Black Bears. We'll have that story right after the break.
After 9/11, Jared Golden joined the Marines and served the country he loves. When he returned, he ran for office to serve the state he calls home. He passed legislation to cap the cost of insulin for seniors and lower drug prices for people across Maine. But Bruce Poliquin He went from Wall Street to Washington to serve himself, taking thousands from drug companies and voting against capping costs. Jared Golden, from here for us. Moderate PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
I was a public health nurse for 29 years. I went into the homes of my neighbors, including many seniors, and cared for them. Then Paul LePage became governor, and everything changed. He kicked seniors off Maine's low-cost prescription drug plan. He cut a Social Security program when it was needed most, and even opposed Meals on Wheels funding. How cruel is that? We can't go back to Paul LePage.
The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message.
Veterans need a congressman who's got their backs. Jared Golden does. Jared's a veteran himself and worked with Republicans and Democrats to get the VA to build an inpatient facility in Maine to treat mental health and substance use disorders. Bruce Poliquin didn't have my back. Poliquin helped create a commission that wants to close VA facilities across Maine, forcing veterans to travel even further for VA care. Veterans can't trust Bruce Poliquin.
Joe Baldacci was born, raised, and educated right here in Bangor. He's promoted and supported hundreds of millions of dollars in commercial and economic development projects. He has fought to protect vital services from drastic budget cuts. In his first term in the state Senate, Joe delivered for his constituents in Bangor and Herman on jobs, school funding, expansion of health care, and protecting the environment. Joe Baldacci, delivering results for the people of Bangor and Herman.
I served our country during the Gulf War. We were fighting for freedom in the Middle East. But in Washington, Bruce Poliquin would take away freedoms Mainers have earned. He voted for a nationwide abortion ban and said he supported changing the Constitution. Poliquin would allow politicians to stand between women and their doctors, even in cases of rape and incest. We didn't fight for our freedoms for politicians like Bruce Poliquin to take them away.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Engstrom's Auto Service in Guilford. We specialize in all foreign and domestic service and alignments.
Welcome back in. Thank you for staying with us. Over the weekend, Maine hockey had probably the biggest win of the Ben Barr era so far, taking down a top 5 team at the Alfond. Not only did the Black Bears beat third-ranked Quinnipiac, they shut out the Bobcats with the scoreboard reading 4-0 after the final horn. Game was scoreless after 2 periods before Maine erupted in the final 15 for all 4 of their goals, but the offense wasn't the bright spot. Between the pipes for Maine was Victor Ostman, who stopped 33 pucks in the game, bringing the Black Bears the win in his first career shutout.
You know, I think there's a lot of factors. I think Victor obviously made a ton of saves in that first half. They had a 5-on-3 and some really big-time saves to keep us 0-0 the first 2 periods. So that also gives your team a lot of confidence when you know your goaltender is going to make some saves back there.
It was obviously a good feeling, a relief. I've played. This is my 3rd year here now, so it's fun to finally get a shutout. But I mean, I got some lucky bounces too. I mean, Sirota made an incredible save. He saved me there for the shutout. But yeah, it's exciting.
Always good when the defenders can come up with a save. Now the Black Bears have their 2nd-ranked matchup in a row and their Hockey East opener this weekend. They are hosting Northeastern. And one of Coach Barr's favorite things to say, anybody in college hockey can beat anybody on any night. And when it comes to Hockey East play, every opponent is dangerous. But one advantage Maine has this week, Alfond Arena.
It's a fantastic place to play hockey. Really, the fans are amazing. They come to every game, and we're really grateful for that. It's so fun to play here. It's insane when the crowd gets going. It's honestly so much fun, and I think it's really tough for other teams. You can tell, honestly, that it's tough to play here for other teams.
All right, staying with the Black Bears now, and just a different type of hockey. Maine field hockey plays their penultimate regular season game on Friday, but they've already locked up the top seed for the America East tournament for the 2nd straight year with their win last week against Vermont. Maine clinched consecutive regular season championships. After starting the year 1-3, they have rolled off 11 wins in their last 12 games. Not only do they have one of the best offenses in the country, they have, if not the best goaltender in the nation. And she says the key to their success is simply having fun playing.
I think enjoying playing. We play our best when we're having fun while we're doing it, and when we're not hard on each other. You'll hear from a lot of the athletes here, especially on this team, we always say we have a family atmosphere, and we wouldn't be saying it if it wasn't true.
For the second straight year, Maine is the home of the America East tournament that takes place next week. And you'll see in a second, maybe Amy Vachon's dog Bailey will be there too. There she is. Black Bears play their first postseason game November 4th at home at noon. They say they cannot wait to compete for a conference title in front of their fans.
It's going to be electric. The local community really does come out and support us so much when we have big things like this. So I'm super looking forward to the electric atmosphere that the RNO brings to things like this.
Yeah, I'm fortunate to have some hometown fans come out to the games. It means a lot to me just having my friends and family here to support me playing at this high level.
Yeah, the fan support is one of the most exciting parts about having the home field advantage. It's just really exciting to be able to be at our own facilities in our own comfortable space and have everyone come out and support us.
Looking forward to covering that next weekend. So Maine eagerly waiting for the postseason for our high school athletes. They're already in the postseason. Quarterfinals wrapping up. Let's check out a Class B North boys soccer matchup. 6th-ranked Ponies from Foxcroft taking on the number 3 Eagles in Ellsworth. Early first half for the Eagles, Silas Montigny. He's going to come out of nowhere right there with his left and blast one towards the net, but Peyton Wallman is there for the save. Nice stop there by the goaltender. Later in the first, Montigny again going to put on some fancy footwork in the corner here, and then he crosses to Cruz Coffin, and Coffin gets one over the head of Wallman. It is 1-0 Ellsworth. Moving on into the second half now for Ellsworth again. This is going to be Owen Frank on the throw-in, and this one is going to go off the head of Eamon McDonald. He puts it in the net and scores to make it 2-0, and Ellsworth goes on to win 4-2. Big win for the Eagles there. They move on to the semifinals. That is all the time we have for sports right now. Here's Jeff Weller with your full 5-day forecast. Jeff?
All right, Tyler, thank you. Your full weather is brought to you by Leona Mae's Antique and Gift Shop in Newport. Come check out our 3 floors of antique treasures and gifts in our renovated 1800s home. Okay, so for us, weather today looking really good, right? Temperatures back up in the 60s. It's going to be colder tomorrow for one day only, and then the weekend is here. We're talking about temperatures back in the 60s through much of next week. Today, though, we did this. 67 here in Bangor today, 64 for Millinocket. We'll take it for late October. This is not normal, but the colder air is right there, and that's moving our way for tomorrow on a gusty northwest wind. It's going to feel much differently around here tomorrow. Okay, so for tonight, low temperatures back in the low 30s. Tomorrow, high temperatures struggling to make it out of the low 50s tomorrow, and then a cold night tomorrow night, followed by a nice recovery getting in here on Saturday and Sunday. The gusty northwest wind is out there currently. We had a couple wind gusts near 30 miles per hour today. This will stay with us for several hours tonight into early parts of tomorrow as that cooler, drier air kind of floods into the region, and it's going to cool us off a lot for tomorrow. But it's increased the visibility across the area. Remember yesterday we had the areas of fog across our area. Not so much today with that gusty northwest wind and those dry area conditions out there too. All right, so speaking of dry, this is the drought monitor. It comes out every Thursday. It came out today. So for decades, of course, drought across the west. Look what's happening, though. It's kind of creeping into the Great Lakes and Midwest as well. For us, we've had a whole summer kind of battling level 1, 2, and 3 drought conditions, and look what happened now. It's gone, right? After 3 really good rain events across our area, that is now a problem in the past. All right, so going forward, so lots of clear skies out there for us tonight. Clear skies, radiational cooling, low temperatures back in the 30s will do it. And then tomorrow, a very nice day. Same story for us on Saturday, also on a Sunday. Our next weather system gets in here most likely on Monday. But here's Futurecast showing tomorrow morning, no problems at all. Tomorrow evening, no problems at all. Maybe a couple more clouds on Saturday, not a big deal, followed by a very nice day on Sunday as well. Our forecast then tonight, though, is lots of clear skies out there, a bit breezy, low temperatures down near 34. A couple of you could dip below freezing tonight with that gusty northwest wind. For tomorrow, okay, here we go. So lots of sunshine tomorrow. This may be a bit aggressive. We could get stuck near 50 tomorrow. I want 54 with that gusty northwest wind through the afternoon. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows 54 tomorrow, 61 though for Saturday with lots of sunshine. Look at the weekend, gorgeous, right? 60s out there. And then even some low to mid 60s through much of next week with some rain showers in here late Monday and through much of Tuesday.
some
pretty ideal.
Yeah, some rain starting next week, but as far as the rest of this week goes, can't complain.
Cannot complain. Yay. The weekend is almost nigh.
It is almost nigh.
Indeed. All right, well, there's still more to come. Stay with us.
Wings for Children and Families is hiring youth and child case managers across central and northern Maine for all 6 of our locations. Wings offers a highly supportive work environment where caring and compassionate individuals can make a difference in the lives of children with special needs. Call today, visit our website, or connect with us on Facebook to learn how you can make a referral for services or join our team, where we are highly committed to bringing hope to those we serve. Wings ranked one of the best places to work in Maine for the last 5 years in a row.
A Cadillac is more than a statement. It's a celebration of self-expression and a declaration of your independence. So choose to be bold and choose to be exactly who you are. Get 2.99% APR for 60 months on most 2023 Cadillac models. Visit Court Cadillac in Bangor.
The Biden agenda in Washington is hitting Mainers with historic inflation, and Janet Mills is making things worse. Under Biden and Mills, Mainers will pay 72% more on home heating oil. And with family budgets already stretched to the breaking point, Mills has stretched them even further, imposing a grocery tax that increases monthly bills by $60. Maine families simply can't afford Janet Mills. The top funder of Maine Families First is Thomas Klingenstein.
A Day in the War on the Middle Class by Jared Golden and the Democrats. That day, Jared Golden voted to raise taxes on low and middle income Americans, double the size of the IRS, drive up home heating and gas prices, and empower new regulators who will hurt Maine's lobster industry.
But it's not too late to do something about it.
Yeah, we can stop their war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Phil Levesque, president of Levesque Business Solutions. We're a family-owned Maine business since 1963. We're your one-stop shop for great office products at affordable rates. From copiers to office furniture to PPE, we've got it all warehoused right here in Bangor. We're your local small Maine business with a dedicated staff providing honest and friendly customer service, top-of-the-line tech support, and the option of in-house leasing. Let us help you get back to business.
I grew up homeless starting at age 11. I understand what it's like to struggle. Right now, senior citizens, our families, are struggling with high grocery bills, home heating oil prices, and electric bills. I get it. Janet Mills hasn't made it better. She's making it worse. Policies pushing high electric bills, home heating costs, considering gas tax increases, they are just wrong. With your vote, we can fix it.
A Boston-based photographer is helping to raise awareness of the battle over Maine's lobster industry by photographing lobstermen, their families, and community members for her family photo series. Our chief photographer, Dave Simpson, was there as she captured those images.
I heard on the national news David Muir say Monterey Bay Aquarium red-listed lobster. I knew this was big. I thought of all the families. I thought of all the fishermen and the younger fishermen, and then I thought of the people who supply bait, and then you have the boat builders, and then you have the restaurants. It's basically a ton of mom and pop shops. Sort of thought about it that way.
Look here, everybody, please.
So I started this to raise awareness. So I want people, and more people even outside of Maine would be good, because most people have no idea how that lobster they're eating in that fancy restaurant was caught and what it takes to actually go out and catch that lobster.
We think it's important.
Very important.
It's an important message.
Why?
Because the whole island depends on the lobster industry. It always has, and it always will.
We need to get our faces out there in the world. We're not just some monsters hanging out on boats doing bad things. We are hardworking, loving, wonderful family people who do the right thing, and we are really fantastic environmentalists.
It's not just the fishermen that this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt anybody employed in the coast of Maine. It might hurt the whole state when you consider fishing is the last thing we have left that makes Maine Maine.
You know, like I've heard on TV, it's it's $1 billion industry or bigger, and it's going to affect Ellsworth. It's going to affect Bangor. You know, we also buy trucks and furniture, and it's really going to hurt the state of Maine.